we're focusing in on doing some solving. Oh, there's one other thing that I meant to tell y'all this morning. I haven't gotten a chance to get through your surveys yet. So if you go by a name other than what I call you, please just let me know. It's just because I haven't gotten through and gotten a chance to change my seating chart to actually have what you prefer as a name on it yet. Okay, so today we're trying to get in and just doing some straightforward solving of linear equations. Can we all see from where you are, by the way? Okay. So, we're going to solve things like 2x plus 6 equals 9. So when I am solving, I'm not doing PEMDAS, I'm doing PEMDAS backwards. PEMDAS is simplify. We do still simplify if need be. Simplify being like combine like terms. If I look at that side, are there any like terms on the 2x plus 6? No. What does it mean to have like terms? Kind of the same way. Same variables.
You can put it together.
You can put them together if they're like terms. They're also going to have the same exponents. So if I had something like x squared plus x, can I put those together? No, they have different exponents. Can I put x plus y together? No. Can I put x plus 5x together?
Yeah.
Yes. Same variable. How do I put them together?
You have to put them together.
Add them, because that's what's it's saying here. How many x's is this? 1. If you can't see the number, it's the invisible 1. 1x plus 5x is how many x's? 6x. Do I change the exponent? No. Okay. So I don't have any like terms that are on the same side of this one because, well, that side's just a number. Next goal, try to get the x alone. Where do I start?
Divide. Minus 6.
Minus. When you're solving, when you're moving things from one side of the equal side to the other, you're not following PEMDAS anymore. Am I hearing things, or was that just a little alarm going off? Anyway, when you're moving something from one side of the equal sign to the other, you're not following PEMDAS normally, you're following PEMDAS backwards. Now while we're at it, what the heck is PEMDAS? What's it stand for? Add and parentheses, exponents, multiply, divide, add, subtract. Now, remember, when you are doing PEMDAS, multiply and divide are together, add, subtract are together. Some of you may have heard of PEMA instead of PEMDAS, or GEMMA. They mean the same thing. It's just going to vary a little bit depending upon who initially told this to you. These versions just kind of emphasize these are together, and then G stands for groupings instead of parentheses. Okay. But if you're switching what side of something is on the equal sign, we start over here. We start with any adding or subtracting. I see in this problem there is a plus 6, and the opposite of adding is subtracting. That's why subtracting 6 goes next. Now, one of the things I mentioned yesterday is you must show work. When I say you must show work on these problems, I don't mean you have to write minus 6 minus 6. I will do that because for some people that's the way their brain makes sense. When I ask for you to show work, I'm asking for this step going to this next step. What's the next step actually going to say after I subtract the 6 from both sides? 2x equals 3. Make sure we're not moving that equal sign. Okay, goal is to get x alone. It's not alone because of the 2. Divide by 2. On both sides. Why is it divide by 2? What's between the 2 and the x? multiplication. It's the hidden multiply. Those canceled out, just like those had canceled out. Again, you don't have to write the divide by 2, the divide by 2. I do want to see the x equals. 3 divided by 2 is 1.5, or 3/2 if you left it as a fraction. Does a decimal mean we did it wrong? No. Do not be afraid of decimals. For some reason, some people tell me every time they get a decimal, Benson, I think I did it wrong. I got a decimal. Doesn't mean you did it wrong. Decimals are a thing. Okay. So far, this ringing some bells? I hope it is. Okay. Now, so far I've been hearing a lot from the same people. So I'm going to shift how I'm calling on people a little bit. I'm going to ask that you raise hands when it comes to steps. Who thinks they can tell me where I start on this one?
Pretty sure you minus the 3 and minus 7 together?
Yep, we got some like terms. Put the minus 3 and minus 7 together. Now, that is something that tends to mess with people. Because a lot of people tell me the answer is 4. It is negative 10 because they are both negative. So, if you are putting that into your calculator, you are writing negative 7 and either minus 3 or plus negative 3. They're the same thing, minus 3 and plus a negative. But you should get negative 10. If you are uncertain about your positives and negatives, if you're just like, I get it wrong all the time, there is nothing wrong with putting it in your calculator. Putting it in a dead calculator is not going to do anyone any good, so make sure it's got batteries that work, unlike that one. But if you need to put this in to get the correct answer, I am not judging you. I will never judge you for grabbing a calculator. I might every once in a while be like, try to do it without. But then you can double check with a calculator. Or you can just go to the calculator in general. Okay. We got 5b minus 10 equals 10. Going back to raising hands. And I want to see a variety of hands, not just 2. Who thinks they can tell me what to go next? Mariana.
You can add 10 to each side.
Add 10 to each side. Good. Goal is to get rid of that 10 because it's on the same side as the b. 10 plus 10 happens to be 20. Raise your hands. Who thinks they can tell me what's coming next? Kata.
You divide 5.
Divide by 5.
And then you get b equals 4.
And you get b equals 4. Again, when I'm talking about showing work, you need the original problem, the combining like terms, and the results after you do the math. You don't have to put the in-between stuff. If it helps you, it's not a bad thing though. We are taking some notes, doing a little bit of algebra review this morning. Two plus 5k minus 6k equals 9. Raise your hands. Who thinks they can tell me what comes first? Mason. What are you going to get when you combine like terms? Negative k. Those two are our like terms. 5 minus 6 is negative 1. You can write negative 1k or just negative k. They are the same thing. How many of you would prefer to have the 1 in front of it? Just raise a hand. Or how many? How many would prefer just to not have the 1 in front of it? A few more there? Okay. And some, I'm guessing, just don't care either way. Makes no difference. Most of the class prefers to not have it there, at least those that answered, so I'm going to leave it like that. Okay? Welcome, welcome. We're just going through some algebra review. Oh, and if you need calculators, they are up on that front table. You are the third desk on that side, sorry. Going back to hands. What comes next? Gabriel?
Divide 2 on, count u minus 2 on the other side.
That's better. We subtract the 2. Common thing that I see people do on this problem, because they see this minus sign right here, is they add the 2. Remember, the 2 is positive, so you have to subtract it to get it to go to 0, which is our goal when we're adding and subtracting. We're getting zeros involved, because they cancel out, because I don't need to write 0, unless it's the only thing there. Be careful not to lose the negative. Are we done?
You have to get rid of the negative.
You have to get rid of the negative. On a very regular basis, I have people stop right here as well. How do we get rid of the negative? That could be anyone, you could just shout it out. Divide by negative 1, or multiply by negative 1 also gets rid of a negative. The most common is to divide by it, because that's the invisible 1 hanging out and being multiplied by k. K equals negative 7. Okay? What if I make it look a little different? What if I make the problem look a little bit like this? What do you think comes first? Add the 3. Because, again, PEMDAS backwards. If you see adding and subtracting, it's generally what we do first. The only rule against that is if there's groupings involved. What's negative 4 plus 3? Negative 1 equals m over 4. How do I get rid of the 4? What's a fraction bar? What operation is that? Adding, subtracting, multiplying, or dividing? What's the opposite of divide? So we multiply by 4. Negative 1 times 4. Negative 4 equals m. Is it okay if I leave the m on the right side and the negative 4 on the left side? For now, yes. There'll be a reason when there'll be a time where that changes, and we'll talk about it when that comes. Now, y'all did really well with this. This is something that typically trips people up. Another thing that tends to trip people up is when I shift where that divide symbol is. On the previous problem, we did the adding of the 3 to undo the subtracting first? I see adding 4. Do I subtract 4 first? That fraction bar is underneath that entirety of the x plus 4, meaning these are grouped together. When those are grouped together, I cannot touch them because them being grouped together means there's invisible parentheses. PEMDAS backwards, parentheses goes last. Yes, Mason.
Do you
Multiply by what?
2?
Yes. That's exactly what we do first. X plus 4 equals 10 times 2 is 20. Y'all know how to finish this one, right? Subtract the 4 over. And we get 16. Got 2 more that have one other thing to them. Still a few people I haven't heard anything from. What do I do when there's parentheses there with a number in front?
You multiply. You need to multiply the parentheses first.
Explain a little bit more about what you mean. I think you're talking about the same thing. What are we multiplying together, in other words?
Distribute there.
So, can't multiply the 2 6s. That is a common thing. The 6s are being added, and they're not like terms. If they were like terms, we would add them first, because generally in simplifying, which we do a little bit of when we are solving, you simplify the side if you can. We would, if these were being multiplied, I would do that. But they're being added and you can't add them because they're not like terms. So one way to approach this that I heard actually a couple people saying is distribution. Do you remember multiplying the number in front through a set of parentheses? You can do that as long as it's being multiplied by the parentheses and as long as inside the parentheses is adding and subtracting. If there's other things going on, then you got to deal with it separately. That is one option. There is another way of doing this. The other way to do this is to directly follow PEMDAS. There's no adding or subtracting, not stuck in parentheses. There is multiply and divide. This is being multiplied. I could have divided by -4 first. It would have canceled out over here, leaving 6a plus 6. Over here, the number would have gotten smaller. That being said, most people distribute. And I'm good with that. That's the way I do it. -4 times 6a. -24a. Is it positive or negative 24 here? Negative. Remember, when you're distributing a number, if it's positive or negative, that goes with. So it's negative times positive, which is negative. And from here we get back to a problem similar to what we had on the very first one. Do I get rid of that 24 first to get a alone, or do I get rid of that 24 first? the second one. To undo subtracting, we add. Negative 216 plus 24. Negative 192. Equals negative 24a. To get rid of that negative 24. Divide. When you divide, don't forget to divide by the negative with the 24. Negative divided by a negative is always going to be positive. What is it, 8?
Yeah.
Okay. The last one I'm going to challenge you to try out on your own. Oh, no. The last one I'm not going to challenge you to try out on your own because I just realized something about it. I chose it for a reason. I get a raise of hands from someone I haven't heard from yet this morning on where I should start. Corey.
Wouldn't you distribute 8 to the x and then 8 to the 6?
That you would. This side's staying the same. 8 times 6 is 48. 8 times x is 8x. Neither side has like terms, but both sides have x. If x is on both sides, the first thing you should do is get the x's together. How do I get this negative x and that 8x together?
Add the x.
You can add the x. Essentially, just like any other adding and subtracting, you're trying to cancel things out. Since it's minus x, you can add x. Or the other option is, how would you move the 8x if you chose to move that one?
Minus 8x.
Minus 8x. Doesn't matter which one you do. I prefer add the x. I like positive numbers. Negative 24 equals, what is 8x plus x? 9x, because it's got the invisible 1. And now we're back to ones like the first one we started with. Multiply and divide first, or add and subtract first? Adding and subtracting. In this case, we will subtract the 48. Negative 72. And to get rid of the 9, we divide. And we get that x is negative 8. Okay. Is some of the rust breaking loose a little bit? A little bit. Okay. So. Today, I'm going to do something that I don't do very often. It doesn't work out nicely for geometry, but since we're doing some algebra things,